There.
I think I got you now.
You got me now?
Now, yeah.
My man, let's go.
How's it going, man?
Dude, life is so good. Let me tell you, so before I start things here, I was lucky enough to take over this Saturday night show for iHeart.
Yeah.
It's called Country House Party, and it's on like 100 different radio stations.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they're like, and now go get your interviews. I'm like, what? Who's doing interviews right now? Like, we can sit down and catch up. So I talked to Katie Dean and the crew, and I'm like, can we talk to Sam Hunt, please?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Bro,
I feel like, how long have you been doing the house party show?
So somebody did it before me, but I took it over how long ago? Probably like 3 months. 3 months ago.
Okay.
But
for some reason I thought I recognized that room behind you, but maybe I'm just.
Well, so we're this is the studio inside Jason Aldean's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
in town in Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're right on Broadway. And if you come up the stairs at Aldean's, the bar is like there, and then 3 steps away, you're in our studio. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
That's crazy.
I haven't been down there because my Broadway days are behind me now.
Well, you come during the day, and we'll get you lunch.
Nice. I still like to peek my head in there every once in a while. I guess drive through.
You holler, my man. We'll take care of you. All right.
Cool.
You've inspired me with coffee. Hang on here.
Yeah, we got this little coffee spot right beside my manager's office. That's where I am right now. So I always make a stop in.
Is that in Nashville? Are you in Nashville right now?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville. I'm over off Music Row.
Oh, okay. We got our main iHeart studios over there.
Yeah, right.
Good deal. Well, dude, there's a lot I want to catch up on. They allotted me like 20 minutes. I promise I'm not going to take all of it.
Oh no, all good. You're all good, man.
Dude, I was so the last time I talked to you was in Vegas at Route 91 and backstage doing the whole hang and all that. And we were so excited because I was still working for the Bull in Vegas. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get this Southside album release party. This is going to be the dopest thing ever.
Oh, yeah. I know, man. I mean, everything just kind of fell apart in the ninth hour right there before we're putting that record out. That was one of the things I was looking forward to most, was that release party out in Vegas. We'd already lined up folks to come out and do some songs with us. It was going to be a good time. But
I can only imagine like the surprises and like whatever you had planned for everybody. It sucks, and I'm sure you've thought about it over and over. What does it do for you? Because Southside, people have been waiting for this album for a long time, right? And I'm sure it's any radio guy you talk to, any fan you encounter on social media or meet and greet, like people have been waiting for this Southside album, and then it comes out and like you can't do anything to celebrate it.
I know.
Like, are you? And you don't have to go in depth, but are you in your feelings a little bit about that? Like you put all this time, years and years into this album, and then it's like, here you go, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, no, I've always been pretty good about, the whole not crying over spilled milk thing. Like if something is out of my control, I typically can snap out of that, any sort of negativity that might, negative feelings that might come from that situation. So, there were bigger fish to fry, obviously, when the pandemic hit, and a lot of things to sort out and to fix and to overcome, over the last 8 to 12 months. So my little issues with putting out music, considering it's been 5 years since I put out a record, were just, not really a big problem. I was bummed out that we weren't able to tour, but more than bummed out that we weren't able to tour, I was bummed out that the whole music industry got shut down, that concerts weren't available to fans anymore, that I couldn't go to the movies, that I couldn't go sit down and have dinner with my buddies, that I couldn't go, just out into the world and enjoy life. So there were a lot bigger concerns than, the album being teed up just like maybe we'd hoped it could have been or would have been. And I was inspired off the bat because I was working really hard to wrap that record up, and I was in the studio a lot, and I felt like I was kind of back in the rhythm of things. So I just jumped right back into working on new music, and it really helped me sort out my routine over the past year and a half. I don't think I've quite gotten my train right back on the tracks the way that they need to be since I put out my first record. So I've kind of been just holding on, and even though I took a little break, still didn't quite have it figured out. But this past 8 months, I've got things going in the right direction.
You got to be a part of our iHeart Country Festival just a handful of months back. As a fan, like there's certain things I need in a concert that I haven't had, right? I need house party, loud as hell, you singing at the top of your lungs, me holding my drink up. Like I need that.
Heck yeah.
As a performer, did our iHeart Country Festival fulfill anything from you that you're missing? Because obviously touring is a huge part of why you enjoy what you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it felt like a little bit of progress. I had done a couple things online, but that was one of the first digital shows that we'd done where I could see faces. They were obviously tuning in through Zoom the way we are now, but I could see them up on this big screen. The setup was really nice over at this place in Nashville where we were playing. And that's the closest thing to performing live that I've experienced since putting out this record. So it felt like progress, especially after, that was what, 5-6 months into the pandemic, sitting around the house, bored, antsy, just wanting to get out, just some light at the end of the tunnel. So that show was a little light at the end of the tunnel, and that light's gotten brighter and brighter ever since. So yeah, I enjoyed that experience quite a bit.
When you, and this is my last pandemic thing, we're going to get to the light at the end of the tunnel here. When tours can, come back to, listen, if we're wearing masks and skipping every 3 rows and every 4 seats, as long as we can get to a show, on this Southside record are you excited to hear, a room full of people, regardless of how big or small, belt back to you?
That's interesting. I probably should think about that more, because I switched gears after putting out the record into thinking about a new project and a new record. And I haven't really put a lot of thought into those songs from Southside in the last couple months. But now that you ask, the single, there was a fun single that we had last summer, Hard to Forget, that I felt like it was going to, knowing our set now and building our set and evolving our set over the last 3, 4, 5 years. That song felt like it was going to have a place in the ebb and flow of of our set. So I was looking forward to interjecting that song. And you have songs that you play that they're not filler songs. You're glad to play them, but that at some point in time those songs are probably going to evolve out of the set, and you want to freshen the set up with some new tunes. That was one song that I felt like was going to fit in well, and was looking forward to playing that one live.
Dude, and I'm telling you, I don't know what the single release plan is. Obviously, you're working Breaking Up Was Easy in the 90s right now, which Southside is fire, dude, start to finish. And there's not many albums like that anymore. There's something about Young Ones that like would blow the roof off of any arena in the country.
That one, that one came together last minute on the record, and I'd never played that one live. Now that you mention it, back to that last question, playing that one at the iHeart show back a few months ago, it felt good playing it live. And then my guitar player Bert, he played me a little video of us. I rarely ever watch our performances, but he showed me a video of Young Ones, and I thought, man, that song really has some energy to it, and that looks like we were having fun, and it looks like we were having fun. So now that you mentioned that song, that's another one that I really look forward to playing live, because it does have the energy of some of the songs like Ecstasy or House Party, or those are the songs that are most fun for me to play in a live set. Not necessarily the most fun to write. I mean, I enjoy writing those songs. I tend to write the slower ballad songs, but when it comes to the live show, I'd much prefer those high energy songs.
I'm telling you, I live down in Spring Hill, and on my drive in, I think I turn into Sam Hunt when that song comes on my playlist, like the plus size version. I'm taking a video and I'm tagging you in it sometime on Instagram, because
please do.
I start feeling myself, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you can really go in that one.
For sure. When the tours start to roll back and you and your crew sit down, you're like, okay, here's this city, this city, this city. what's a city you don't want to miss, right? And I'm not down. Listen, I'm not asking you to pick a favorite, right? I mean, I kind of am, and I'm not downplaying any city. But what's one that you're like, this one gets me going. And I'm not saying start or end there, but somewhere on the tour you have to go where?
Yeah, let's see. That's a good question. Charlotte's always been a fun city to play.
Yeah.
Chicago, like Joe's, we used to play the bar at Joe's. And I'm trying to think of some of those cities where early on, when really not many people knew who we were or had heard of our music, there would be a following or a group of people show up to the shows before we thought anybody really knew anything about our music. Charlotte was one of those places. So that's right off the top of the head. But man, if I had a list of the cities, I'm sure the memories would come flooding back, and I could rattle off several more.
Is that first tour going to be like ridiculously long?
Right. We're probably going to play quite a bit. Yeah. We've been talking about it here lately, and I'm like, man, when this thing turns back on, and I know everybody else is too. So, there'll be a lot of people out here playing live music, but we'll be one of them. And, we're definitely looking forward to it.
What's a tour you would want to go see?
That's a good question.
Because it's tough. Because like obviously you're a creator, a performer, but you're a fan too, right?
Yeah, right. Let me see. I mean, I'm trying to think of a tour that might be going on here soon. I mean, in our genre, in the country genre, the watching these younger guys figure it out and get their thing going, Hardy and Morgan Wallen and Ernest K. Around those guys in the songwriting world, writing songs with some of those guys and seeing them find their voice and find their thing and build it up. I'd be interested, just because I've watched that evolution. I'd be interested in going to see them do their thing, because it felt like their crescendo, those guys were coming up and they were having their moment, and then things just shut down. And I know they're itching to get out there and play live, and I can see that they have that thing in their eyes that just a few years ago, I can remember when we were just up and coming and getting started. They're not up and coming; they're well established now. But I mean, those first tours for those crowds that are coming to see you for the very first time. Yeah. They've been listening to your music. They love the songs, and they're coming out to see you live for the first time. So I'd like to go be in that environment again.
Do you, as far as the tours going, I'm not gonna ask dates or names, right? Because I know that that's top secret stuff. Have you had conversations as we flip to a new year here, like, talk to artist A or B, like, hey, I'm starting to get plans together here. We should do something.
Yeah. I've talked to a couple artists, and we've talked about booking shows. Everything's tentative right now, and people's careers, month to month are changing. People who might have been playing that a first of three spot just a few months ago, they'll be direct support or even headlining by the time things open back up. So it's hard to plan too far in advance. But there's lots of really great up and coming artists and artists that I've known for a long time that I'd love to tour with, no matter how the, first of three thing plays out. Just being on the road with guys who you're a fan of is going to be a more enjoyable experience. So yeah, we're definitely talking to some of those guys and girls.
I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. When it comes to downtime, I saw over the holidays on your social media you recently shared, got to lay low with the family. You let your wife have a firearm, and you were around with no protection. How was behind her. How were the holidays for you guys?
Oh, we had fun. I got to see some family. We had to switch things up a little bit. I have a big family. Both of us have big families, so we typically have a pretty big family experience over the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We had to downsize a little bit, but getting to see my family and her family and her around her family. You know, there's always that light that comes on when you get around your family and seeing her around, you know, she's got six brothers and sisters. So she got to see most of them over the holidays. Was a lot of fun. And this is one of the first times we've had folks over to our place. Usually we go down south to Birmingham or over to Georgia. And now I've got a little more room. We live in a little cabin south of town. We can make a little more racket than I've been able to make over the years because I've always had neighbors. So now we can get out and shoot and ride around and run around and have a good time, cut up a little bit. So that was us just enjoying the holiday break.
I feel like last time you and I talked, you guys just got this spot within the last year, right?
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, I think.
Are you a home projects guy? Are you like, oh, I want to add a ceiling fan, so I'm going to put the ceiling fan in myself? Are you that guy?
Not really. My mind's so much, I'm like, I have tunnel vision, whatever I'm, you know, and right now in the last 5 years, it's been music. And you know, when I moved to town, I got a little apartment with a buddy of mine, and I got a mattress, a blanket, a pillow, and a laptop, and that was it. And you know, I think the next place I stayed in, I stacked all my clothes right beside my bed in a little tiny small room with a mattress on the floor. So I've never been a decorator or been too concerned about my environment. I'm learning that you know, once you get married, that has to evolve a little bit, and so I'm trying to accommodate her needs as well. But no, I'm not. Because of that, I've never developed any skills in terms of fixing, decorating, building, any of those sorts of things. So that's not really my thing.
If something has to be fixed, my wife would be like, oh, can you just fix that? And I'll call a handyman. She's like, you can't fix that? I'm like, I'm trying to help this guy support his family. Why don't you back up a little bit?
Right. We got to spread it around. No, as I get a little older though, you know, and all my buddies, time has gone by. I've been off playing music, running around the world, and they've all developed all these skills. So like both my brothers are like, my brother was putting in a toilet the other day, like fixing it, doing the whole thing. I'm like, how did you learn how to do all this? A few years ago, you wouldn't have had a clue. So I feel like I got to start getting on it a little bit because it is becoming embarrassing.
Dude, I'll tell you, you and I both will go take some classes at Home Depot or something.
We need to. Well, good thing is I think they're all learning on YouTube. Now okay. You can YouTube just about anything. So I'm gonna have to get with it.
This weekend, as we get ready to wrap things up here, the big game. Are you going either way? Are you pulling for either team here, Kansas City or Tampa?
Oh man.
Versus Mahomes. I don't like.
I won't be disappointed. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm a guy that either way, I'm like, I just want a good game, man. But
right, it's too. Somebody. Well, I saw a quote the other day that said, you know, this game will be kind of like Jordan playing LeBron. I don't know who said that, but
that's good.
I had not thought about it that way, and it, you know, it's a pretty historic game when you think about it like that. You know, the guy who a lot of people consider to be the greatest ever playing a young guy who has a lot of people think the potential to become one of the greatest ever. So it's a pretty big game, and I'm a fan of both of those quarterbacks. So I won't be disappointed no matter who wins. But you know, seeing Brady, even though I was skeptical when he went to Tampa Bay, I was one of the doubters, I guess you could say. He's proved me wrong, and so I'm on the bandwagon. I'm pulling for him. So I guess if I had to pick, I'd go with the Bucs.
So I'm originally, same with me. I would like to see that. And with the switch, you know, and Brady goes to a new team, can still do his thing. I grew up in Minnesota as a Vikings fan. So anytime a team wins, like, I don't like them because I grew up with a team that didn't win.
Yeah. Frustrating. Seems make it look easy.
Dude, the last thing I'm going to ask you, you talked about how Southside is, not your words, but I'm paraphrasing, is kind of in the rear view for you career-wise, right? Like, it's a part of your library now. You're proud of it, but you're already looking ahead. When you say looking ahead, are we hearing the final single off of Southside right now?
That's a good question. And honestly, I'd tell you if I knew for sure, but that's a decision I think I'll make over the next month or two. I've got a big retreat coming up in March. So I'm going to go off, and I've written songs, you know, over the past few months, but I'm going to do this writing retreat and see if I can finish the record. Obviously I have to go in and record it after that. So that'll take time. But I think a lot of things will play out over the next 2 months. And if I can get the music done that I'd like to get done, I'd love to move on to this new stuff. But I don't want to, get ahead of myself and just, completely leave Southside in the dust, because, we put a lot of time into that record too. So I'll have to make some of those decisions this spring.
Dude, that's tough. Well, I'm telling you, as a guy who respects you as an artist, and you've always been good anytime we've talked, and a fan of your music, I feel like you got another single on this. But you didn't ask.
What do you think I should go with? Because
so Breaking Up Was Easy in the 90s is great. I think country radio would embrace the hell out of Young Ones. You're coming into spring. Things are starting to feel more normal for people. I think Young Ones could be like one of your top 3 songs ever.
Right on. I appreciate that insight. I'm gonna consider that.
Well, just send me some royalties or something if you end up doing that, all right? Sam, I'm gonna let you run, brother. We'll probably start spamming the hell out of you on social media with posting this interview's coming. So if you see it, share if you want. Otherwise, don't get annoyed by it, all right?
All good, brother. It's good talking to you, man.
Good to see you, my friend. And say hi to Tay. She wanted to say hello.
Hi.
Hey, Tay.
Nice to
Hope
see
you're good.
you again.
How's it going? Good to see you too.
All right, my dude. Sam, I appreciate you, brother.
Have a good one. We'll see y'all soon.
Take care, man.
All the best. Bye, guys. See y'all.